There's a whole lot of weird stuff going on in the world right now. And I gotta tell you, I think now, more than ever, we need to start upping our preparedness game. And one of the ways that we can do that is by making sure that we have a bunch of crucial survival items stocked up in our home that are available from every single grocery store in our country. And most of this stuff, we can go out and buy a ton of it. It lasts forever, 30 years to indefinitely, and it's not gonna break the bank, and will leave us with good peace of mind that we can last for at least 30 days. In today's video, we're gonna be going over, well, about 10 grocery items that I think that everybody should have, as well as maybe 3 little bonus items that will just make you feel good if the world goes to shit. Now, most of these items are pretty affordable and they don't take up a whole heck of a lot of room in your house. So why don't we head on into the kitchen and we'll see what we got in the bags. If you guys are just as annoyed as I am about what seems to be a plethora of other preparedness channels that are just generated with AI and stupid AI thumbnails, God, it drives me insane. It's not real. It's made by a computer and somebody from China. Anyway, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My name's Will, and to me, preparedness isn't only about surviving the end of the world, it's about who we are and what we're made of. I prepare to live, and I live to prepare. I am a prepared citizen. As we go through these items, not only am I going to say it, but somewhere on the screen I will put the average nationwide cost of all of these items. And I got to say it again, it's the nationwide United States average. Don't go yelling at me in the comments saying, hey, that's not true. That's $9 where I live or $7 where I live. It's the nationwide average that we're going to be using. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to display how much all of these items would cost the average American for 30 days worth of so-called survival supplies. Normally, when I do these videos, I always start with number 1, and so does everybody else, but I'm not gonna do that today. No, I am gonna start with a bonus item. And the first bonus item on our list is this right here. Beautiful, glorious, super tasty honey. Now, I get this honey from my wife's assistant. Super nice lady, they got bees, so we have some really good fresh honey. And oddly enough, we go through a lot of honey in my house because I like to make honey roasted potatoes. Super tasty. Realistically speaking, the uses for honey are pretty much endless. Except I've never tried honey on what we're about to talk about now, which is number 1. That's right, friends. Number 1, rice. Personally, I am not a big fan of rice. In fact, I hate rice and I never ever eat it. Probably why I'm fat. The only way you'll find me eating rice is if it's slathered in duck sauce at a Chinese food restaurant. Not a fan, but my wife, she loves rice. Rice is gonna run you somewhere around $1.07 per pound. Not a lot of money for something that has some pretty good benefits. I mean, we're talking 25 to 30 years shelf life for white rice if you store it properly. And this also gives you an extremely dense source of calories, something that we're going to need if the shit hits the fan. If money is really tight in your household, then I would highly recommend you at least have a really good supply of rice. It's gonna keep you going for a really long time. Second thing on my list would be dried beans. Another thing I can't stand eating, and I looked through every cabinet in this house. We don't even have any. So I guess I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. Dried beans and lentils, they're gonna last you somewhere between 10 and 30 years if you store those properly. Beans, the magical fruit, the more you eat, the more you... That's right, they're extremely high in fiber and protein. They fill you up pretty quickly and they will maintain you, especially if you have enough that you can mix in with some rice. Number 3 on my list is gonna be these right here, canned meats. I love tuna fish, and I would imagine that most of you watching also love tuna fish, but I gotta tell you, if you don't make your tuna fish sandwich with Miracle Whip, we just can't be friends. Now, there's all kinds of canned meats out there. There's sardines, tuna fish, deviled ham, and the grossest of all, Spam. Most of these canned meats are going to last anywhere between 3 and 5 years on your shelf. Pretty decent shelf life, and let's face it, if we're still alive in 5 years after the shit has hit the fan, I think we're going to be doing okay. And the average price for most canned meats, and it was tough for me, I really only was focusing on tuna fish, is about $1 per can. And it's almost like we're doing a cooking show here, folks. You can take your ham or your tuna fish, you can mix it with your rice, put a little honey on it, add some beans in, you get a pretty filling, nutritious meal. Rolling on to number 4, pasta. Yes, pasta. Everybody loves pasta. except for me. Now, don't get me wrong, my wife makes a mean lasagna, but if I had a choice between eating steak or spaghetti, yeah, I'm always going to be picking steak. Now, pasta was kind of a weird thing for me to find prices on because we have different brands. We have this brand right here, and we have this brand right here. But on average, pasta by the pound is going to run you somewhere between $1 and $1.50. Pasta, next to the rice, is probably one of the easiest things here that we can cook, and it requires the least amount of gear to cook it. Moving on to number 5. And clearly you don't see me holding anything, so I bet you've guessed now that I don't have any canned vegetables. Ugh. Canned vegetables provide you with good, wholesome vitamins, minerals, and some dietary fiber. I was pretty shocked at the nationwide price of canned vegetables. It's about $2 for a 15-ounce can. But I think you're really going to like the next one, because the next one we can make anything with. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, good old flour. I personally use flour every Sunday when I make my wife pancakes or waffles. Flour is going to run you about 50-60 cents per pound. And let's face it, we can make most things we need to survive just off a single bag of flour. Flour is going to last you for about a year, but if you vacuum seal it and chuck it in your freezer, you might even get 10 years out of it. Here's something I came up with that'll save you a lot of time when it comes to storing your flour. Go online or open up one of your cookbooks and find a recipe that uses primarily flour. Take the required measurement out of the bag, put it into your vacuum sealed container, and then write on that container the recipe for that flour dish. That way, if you have to bug out or something terrible has happened, you have the recipe for that dish on that bag. All right, let's move on to number 7. Number 7 in my book is going to be cooking oil. Or, a little bit more shelf stable, get yourself a can of Wagyu beef tallow. Cooking oils are a little bit more expensive. I don't know how much this costs, but it's not cheap. And the nationwide average right now for most other cooking oils are about $6 per liter. I believe that cooking oil is going to be one of those amazing bartering items where maybe an ounce of cooking oil is going to get you a couple thousand rounds of ammunition. Moving on swiftly to number 8, sugar. Sugar is going to run you about $1 to $1.50 per pound nationwide. Sugar can, oddly enough, be used for preserving foods the same way that salt does. The shelf life is pretty much indefinite. I mean, 30 plus years if you store it correctly. Now, we just talked about it a couple seconds ago, salt. Now, most salt's going to run you about $1.30 per pound. This stuff right here, cha-ching, big bucks for the old Malden. But see, salt is going to be one of those things that if we're all suffering and miserable and we've got a trout that we just fresh caught, or maybe we killed a deer or something like that, a little sprinkle of salt on that, it's really going to lift everybody's spirits. Shelf life for salt is indefinite till the end of time. It never goes bad. You just want to make sure that you store it in an airtight container. Speaking of electrolytes, let's talk about one of the other bonus items, which are these guys right here. An electrolyte water beverage mix. I love these things. The company's called Propel. I like the watermelon. Kind of reminds me of a Jolly Rancher. I drink about a box of these a week. It's 0 calories, but it has a ton of vitamins in it. And most importantly, it has about 70 milligrams of potassium. If you're dehydrated, nothing is going to help you better. Moving right along to number 10, and the final thing before the next bonus item, peanut butter. Now, in my 3-day assault pack, I actually always make sure that I put in a small jar of peanut butter and a bunch of tortillas because it is a fast on-the-move snack. You pull out a tortilla, you smush it with peanut butter, you roll it up, and you eat it on the go. Peanut butter is super calorie dense, and it's got both the protein that we need and some very healthy fats. Shelf life for peanut butter is about 1 to 2 years. It's a big ticket item though. Nationwide, it's gonna run you about $7 per pound. Now, before we talk about that 30-day package deal that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, let's get to the last bonus item, of which I also don't have. Instant coffee. No, this is not instant coffee. This is a medium roast with hints of stone fruit and caramel from Death Wish Coffee Company. Coffee is gonna last you 20 plus years, again, if you store it properly. You're probably a lot like me, and in the mornings, I'm pretty much useless until I have that first cup of coffee. Kind of boosts alertness, unless you're like some of my buddies who have 9 cups of coffee a day. And I truly believe this right here, what a morale booster. If you're cold or if you're hungry, doesn't matter the scenario, a good cup of coffee when you're feeling miserable, it's gonna help so much. Now let's get into the math and all these numbers I have in front of me. And this is going to be for a 30-day supply for your average family of 3 people. For rice, we're going to need about 30 pounds at about $1.07 a pound. It's going to run you about $32.10 for that 30-day supply of rice. Dry beans, we're going to want to have stockpiled roughly 15 pounds. So it's going to run you $24.75 roughly for a good 30-day supply. Canned meats, we're thinking about 1 can for 3 people a day. So we want about 30 cans. At $1 a can, 30 bucks. Pasta, this is a good one. 15 pounds I found is going to be enough to last you for 30 days. And that's going to run you about $1.31 a pound. So we're looking at about 20 bucks, give or take, for your pasta. Canned vegetables, 1 a day. We want 30 cans. $2 a can, $60 total. Flour, 20 pounds. That's your minimum. 56 cents a pound, $11.20 average for your flour. I would recommend 3 liters of cooking oil. I know it sounds like a lot, and really it is, but again, like I said, that bartering item, it's going to be great. So $5.50 a liter, $16.50. Sugar, all right, I didn't say before that it was a bartering item, but yes, sugar will be a bartering item. So I upped it a little bit. We're going to want 10 pounds of sugar, $1.05 per pound, $10.50 for a 30-day supply of sugar. Salt. I had originally 1 pound because 1 pound of salt is actually quite a bit, but I figured what the heck, let's move it up to 3 pounds. We could always barter it, $1.30 per pound, $3.90. Since I love it and I use it all the time, I just gave roughly about 6 pounds of peanut butter. $6.42 a pound, $38.52 average for peanut butter. So for those 10 core items, we're going to be looking at $246.12. I know it seems like a lot, but again, all of this stuff is super shelf stable. I think it's worth spending 250 bucks. Now those bonus items, well, these are things that I think we should have, but they might break the bank. Honey, 3 pounds of honey, that'll last you a long time. $3 a pound, $9. The electrolyte packet, those are very expensive. 60 packets should do you for 30 days. It's going to run you about $100, so leave that one off if that's a little too much for you. And the instant coffee, 1.5 pounds, I think is just right. $8 a pound, so you're looking at like 12, 13 bucks for that. So all in all, the entire total for 30 days of food for 3 people is going to run you right now, roughly average of the nation, $367.94. So we'll call it $370. All that being said, make sure you give me your top 10 down in the comments because I may have missed something, and I know all of the other viewers who are watching this just like you, they're going to scroll through the comments and see what your recommendations are. This is not just my channel. This is our channel. We are, in fact, a very small community on the internet. So make sure you're subscribed. Please like this video, and thank you so much. Our last video got over 3,000 shares. So send this one out to all your friends and Facebook groups and Instagram things. Feel free to remix my videos as well. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Hunting videos start next Sunday. Get excited for it. My name's Will. I'm the Prepared Citizen. The best time to prepare was yesterday. Second best time is today. That's all I got for you. All right, one more thing. I said this in another video, so I'm going to say it again. Make time to hang out with your friends. If your buddy calls you up and says, hey, you want to go get a beer? Go. There's no excuse for you not to go. If you have some friends or something, they say, come on over for dinner. I don't care what you have going on. Forget about it and go have dinner with your friends. We need to live life, ladies and gentlemen. We're only here for a short time. Make it a good time.